Welcome to the third quarter Central Committee meeting of the Democratic Party of Virginia. I officially call this meeting to order and ask for our Veterans Caucus Chair, Charlie Conrad, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Is Charlie with us? And
so.
Not here. If we're not hearing from Charlie, we'll ask.
I'm here.
Okay, Charlie, there you are.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
There you go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Charlie. And now I will turn it over to our secretary, Isaac Sarver, for the roll call.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Glad to be here. So party chairs or CD chairs, just as a reminder, what we're looking for from you is perhaps a few words about the exciting activities happening to get out the vote in your districts. But I'm not looking for the number of members in the Zoom. We can handle that on the back end. I am looking for any new members since the Q2 meeting, as well as the names of any members that have fallen off so that we can affirm they're joining the Central Committee. So without further ado, first CD, Diane Carter DeMeo.
Good morning, everyone. We're so happy you could join us for Abby Easter birthday weekend. And we want to let you know that CD1 is pleased and excited to welcome the Reverend Dr. Linwood Blizzard as our new additional member. We're excited about helping keep Senator Monty Mason in the Senate, keeping the Senate, sending back Delegate Willett, doing everything in all our localities with school boards, local electeds, and we're just on fire for democracy.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Second CD, Sandra Brandt.
Good morning, Virginia Democrats. It's a pleasure to be here this morning with all of you, and all our campaigns in the 2nd Congressional District are running hard, and I predict we're going to win. But I do want to say thank you to all of you who have come to all of our districts in cities and counties in Virginia and 2nd District to work for us for canvassing, making phone calls, or whatever you have been doing for us. And most importantly, giving our candidates money, which makes sure that we are on the road to victory. We look forward to making sure that our Senate and House races all win. And we are going to work hard to make sure in 38 days, November 7th, we will win and take the House back and keep the Senate. Let's go and win. Thank you, Virginia Democrats.
Thank you, Sandra. And there were no new members or removals?
No.
Perfect. Third CD, Charles Stanton.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'll start right off with no changes in our roster. So we're good to go there. And we too are looking forward to great things in November. Many of the races that will determine control of the House and expanded majority in the Senate run right through the 757, as we call it down here. And we're working hard to get it done. And with that, we're also in the 3rd Congressional District come January, looking forward to having the President Pro Tem of the Senate, possible majority leader of the Senate, possible new dynamic Speaker of the House, all residents of the 3rd Congressional District. They must have learned well from our senior congressional delegation member, Bobby Scott, on leadership. So we're ready to go, ready to roll. Let's do it.
Excellent. From the fabulous 4th CD, my own CD chair, Alexis Rogers.
Good morning, Democrats. I am excited to share that in the 4th CD, we are expanding our Democratic presence. And the Colonial Heights Committee just reestablished itself. And so I want to thank those Democrats in Colonial Heights. We also know that the road to the majority runs through the 4th CD with several targeted seats in our congressional district. So I thank everyone who's been volunteering for those House and Senate seats. We do have some new members joining, and many of them are on the call this morning, including Darren Hayes from Brunswick, Mr. Harry Khanna of Richmond, Reverend Tyrone Nelson of Henrico County, who also serves on our Board of Supervisors, and Tyler Havanillo, who was recently elected to be Virginia Young Democrats National Committee Representative and will serve on our 4th CD as an ex officio member. Isaac, I emailed all that over because I know it's a lot of names.
Yeah.
Let's move around. So thank you so much, Democrats, and let's go win.
Excellent. From the 5th CD is Patricia Harper Tunley with us? Yep.
Good morning. This is Patricia Harper Tunley from the 5th CD, and I am currently at our venue for our 5th CD extravaganza. So I apologize, I can't see everybody, so I don't have all the numbers, but we do have one new member, Mr. Ivan Alot. And I'm not sure if he's on because I am using my phone for the first time, and this is kind of, I can't see. But at any rate, the 5th district is moving strong and we're moving forward, and we're looking forward to a great event this evening with great speakers and the candidates of the 5th that are going to move forward, and we're going to have victories in the 5th district. Thank you very much.
Outstanding. From the 6th CD, and good luck with your dinner this evening, Patricia. From the 6th CD, Kim Crump.
Good morning, Virginia Democrats. Coming to you from the beautiful Shenandoah Valley. I'd like to give a shout out to our wonderful candidates up and down the 6th district, working so hard along with our committees and our chairs to win in November. And we're fighting everything out here, guys, from culture worlds to libraries to school boards. So we're looking forward to November. Thanks, everyone. Happy birthday, Abby.
All right. From the 7th CD, Matt Rowe.
Good morning from CD7. Hello, all Virginia Democrats. Happy birthday, Abby. First, we have no new members that have joined the CD. But listen, this is the Q3 meeting, so let's jump right into it. For those of you watching at home here on the Zoom, here's how you can help. If you live especially in Northern Virginia, I got an exciting opportunity for you. We now have the express lanes. And you think, oh, well, it's going to take forever to get down to CD7 to go help out. Not anymore. We saw Senator Mark Warner at the steering committee last night, and he said it took him 42 minutes to get from the U.S. Capitol to Fredericksburg. And you're thinking, is he crazy? No, he just used the express lanes. VDOT didn't build a wormhole. It's just the express lanes. So what you do is you get on the express lanes, you get your transponder for the Easy Pass, you switch that to HOV because you and 2 of your volunteer friends are going to be coming down here, not paying any money, all the way down to CD7, especially here in the Fredericksburg area where we have 2 marquee races that are going to ensure that we hold on to the Senate and take back the House, Joel Griffin and Joshua Cole. Come on down. It's going to take you no time to get down here. You got the HOV because you got your volunteers with you. Let's get it done for this November.
Thank you, Matt. I think Senator Warner also may have commented on who provided the funding for that, and I don't believe it was our governor. But anyway, moving to the 8th CD, Margot Horner.
Yes, thank you so much, Isaac. And listen, congratulations to you on your great family. We saw them yesterday, and I must say, Senator Warner was quite good in taking care of one of the 3 babies. Shows you that we're producing a number of young demo tots right now. But 8th District is home to our great senior Senator, Mark Warner, our Congressman, Don Beyer, Senate Leader Dick Saslaw, House Caucus Chair Charnel Herring, and our 8th District Legislative Member, Senator Adam Ebbin. All of those folks and many others are involved in assisting in the election. We want that of new members that will help us be truly blue in both houses with additional numbers. And the 8th District is home to many talented Virginia state senators and delegates who served earlier this year and have been continuously serving as a brick wall to maintain our progressive legislation. You and I are firm believers in holding the line, but we cannot forget our legislators who were there for us. Thank them when you see them. Since our second quarter meeting, our HCD lost friend of ours, Matt Royer, now president of Virginia Young Democrats, who, I'm shocked to say, move to the 11th district. Matt's Arlington seat has been filled by Tony Weaver. So good luck, Matt, and welcome aboard, Tony. May our Virginia Democratic family stay safe and well. And in these times, I know we've heard a lot about our military vets and the fact that one senator from Alabama, who everybody by now knows, has stopped the promotions, stopped the ability of people to move on in their careers professionally. And frankly, what has been done to families is just unforgivable. So with that in mind, I do want us to keep in mind our military who live in Virginia, a significant number. We want to get them involved. And thanks to Charlie Conrad, he's doing a great job with the veterans and military families. Furthermore, too, I know it's so important. And, you know, some of our races up here, it's a little bit more blue. So what we have done from Arlington to Alexandria to Fairfax and Falls Church City is send people. I call it doing missionary work throughout the state. And that's where we want to add to our numbers. So that's what we're trying to do to help everyone out. So with that in mind, we keep our veterans always in our hearts. And we want to expand those Democratic numbers. So, and we also want to increase Democrats who are in down ballot offices, because that's where our future is. So we face a great choice now to support our democracy, to get out the vote, and to turn heavy numbers of Democrats out. And I just want to say too, that we're all in this together. We're a family, and our family must move forward and bring about strong Democratic victories. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Margot, and thank you for the kind words on my demo tots. We had a little Mark Warner for Virginia onesie out last night, and I think Dave Flightman may have dropped a photo in the chat. So, so we will reflect Tony's addition. In the 9th CD, let me just double check one small thing. Okay, I'm going to call on Steve Cochran, Vice Chair in the 9th.
Good morning, everyone. You know, as I was listening to all the other CD chairs talking about their legislators, their Congress people being the home of our senators, I thought to myself, we're going to have to rename the Fighting Nights to be the Fighting Back Night, because you know, we're lonely down here when it comes to Democratic representation, but we're still fighting and we're still alive and well in Southwest Virginia. We've had no new members since the last meeting that I'm aware of, and no one has resigned from the committee, of which I'm aware. I do want to just give a shout out to a whole lot of people who have been helping us and helping our candidates down here in the 9th district. We have some great candidates for election this fall, and this is dangerous because I may overlook someone, so please, someone chime in or set it in the chat if I miss someone. But we have Renee Gates running for the Senate in the eastern part of the district, and Patty Quessenberry running for delegate. We have great Democrat from here in Blacksburg, Bob Beckman, running for state Senate, and Trish White Boyd trying to hold on to the seat that we have in Roanoke with John Edwards. John was put in the same district with David Suderline, and Trish, who is a member of Roanoke City Council, is our great candidate in that area for that seat. And we have Lily Franklin in the Blacksburg area for the 42nd. So we have some really good folks running for election. Of course, we're counting on Sam Rasool, as always, to help us down here in Southwest Virginia. He's sort of our anchor baby in Roanoke to help us make sure that we're not completely overwhelmed by Republicans. We're also finding a lot of school board races. So there's a lot of interest in the school board here in Montgomery County and some of the other localities. We have some Moms for Liberty types running for the school board here in Montgomery County. We have a former school superintendent who was fired by the school board, who is waging a revenge campaign against one of our longest term members of the school board. So we have a lot of activity going on down here. I want to give a special shout out, if I could, to the Floyd County Democrats. The Floyd Democrats just recently had a great headquarters opening, and I'll see if I can find a picture and put it in the chat. But the Floyd County Democrats have quite a presence in downtown Floyd. You cannot miss it. When you get to town, there's a huge billboard over their headquarters. So somebody put in the chat, Salar Khan said, shout out to the great Virginia Tech Young Democrats. Absolutely. The Tech Young Dems have been very, very active in all these campaigns. And as someone else said earlier, this is the future of our party. So we're delighted that they're working so hard. So thank you. That's it for the Fighting Back night.
Thank you, Steve. And I know Senator Warner and Senator Kane, I think both just did events, one Kane with the Floyd Democrats and Warner with the Scott County Committee. And there's still plenty of fight in the night.
Yes. Yeah. And I thank you. I meant to say that Tim and Mark have been down here. Abigail has been down, Abigail Spanberger. Den McClellan is here this weekend. So we really, really appreciate the support we're getting from all across the state.
Excellent. From the 10th CD, I know Zach said he would try to join if he was able. If not, I know Lissa Savaglio is ready to hop in. So if Lissa or Zach.
Okay, so it's Lisa, but thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Lisa Savaglio from the 10th CD. Good morning, everybody. We have been working really, really hard over here in the 10th, pushing out the early vote. On Friday, the first day of early vote, we had in one county over 600 voters in one day. So that was awesome. This is the wonderful home of the amazing Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton and the home of the future state senator, Russet Perry. We have no new members to report and no members have left.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Lisa. And I'm so sorry for mispronouncing. And then last but not least, Manisha Singh from the 11th.
Good morning, all. Thank you, Isaac. This is Manisha Singh reporting from CD 11. If I look like I'm staring into the sky, it is just because my laptop is giving issues and I've connected it to my television. So yeah, good morning. From CD 11, the home of our amazing Congressman Jerry Conley and many, many amazing Dems that are keeping us sane right now. CD 11 is working really hard to engage with many of our campaigns, including writing a good, healthy check for the Majority Project and also collaborating with our Fairfax chairman, Jeff McKay, and our amazing congressman to do a mailer for some of our very competitive races. CD 8's loss is our gain. So CD 11 is now home of our YD chairman, Matt Royer, and we also gained 2 new members, Leslie Houston, who's the president of FEA, Fairfax Association of Educators, and we gained back John Jennison. So yay. And back to you, Isaac.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that is a wrap. Madam Chair, I would seek a motion from the floor to approve our, well, first off, a quorum is present and it's quite a robust quorum at that. But I would seek a motion from the floor to approve our new members. And just to recap, that's Reverend Dr. Linwood Blizzard, Darren Hayes, Harry Kana, Reverend Tyrone Nelson. Mr. Havanillo is an ex officio, so I'm not going to include him in this motion. Irene Lott, Tony Weaver, Leslie Houston, and John Jennison, which is quite a few new members. Welcome. We're glad to have you with us. But I would seek a motion to add all of those individuals as named to the Central Committee roll.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Welcome aboard, everyone. This is the show that never ends, and we're going to be delivering some big wins here in a few weeks. So with that, Madam Chair, I defer back to you.
I was muted there. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And it's great to see so many of you all this morning at this hour. You have before you, you have been sent the agenda and the minutes. I would like to, without objection, remove the party plan amendment discussion. We had a robust and substantive discussion last night at the steering committee meeting and reached a consensus that there were a lot of more things to think through on this party plan amendment, and therefore we decided we would like to have this pulled for now and maybe relook at it after the 24 election and spend a little more time delving into there were points brought up by on both sides of how to do this, but it just needed a little more percolating and a little more thought into it. So without objection, we'll remove that, and otherwise then I would move adoption of the minutes and the agenda minus the party plan amendment.
I've seconded
Motion.
Sandra Brandt.
All right, it's been, I guess I made that motion. Sandra, you make the motion if you would, and then somebody second it.
I make the motion that we
I
approve
second
the,
it. Jay Bandari.
excuse me, I make the motion that we adopt the agenda with the correction, the deletion, and that we adopt the minutes from our last meeting.
Second.
All right, and Jay has seconded. All in favor, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you all very much. Actually, and I think you noticed that I'm in my car and I'm kind of looking around a little bit. I was trying to get to the office this morning and not realizing there was a Richmond marathon. So I'm at a parking lot about six blocks from the office. And if you may have seen Congressman Scott in his car as well. He went to his car because he's in Congress today to get on our Zoom. And I would just like to ask Congressman Scott to give us an update for a few minutes on what actually is going on up there with the Chaos Caucus and the MAGA Republicans.
Is he on?
Did he have to jump off?
No, he's muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for all that you're doing. I was intrigued when you said the meeting was off the record. Where I come from, off the record means when they quote you, it's always an anonymous source. But I will join the congratulations for Abby Easter. Happy birthday. I would associate myself with the comments about the military that Margot said about how reprehensible it is the way the senator from Alabama is treating our military, and note with irony how the Republicans want to take credit for all the transportation money that they voted against as the Democrats passed it. Now, I want to thank all of the Central Committee for what you're doing for our candidates. I'm supposed to be in the district tonight at a fundraiser. Nadarius Clark and others will be there. But because of what's going on in Washington, I can't be there. We have the Chaos Caucus is preventing a bill from coming up that would get 300 votes, at least 300, maybe 350. You need 218 to pass, but they keep bringing up these bills that show they're captured by the far right MAGA Republicans, and then can't pass it because the MAGA Republicans don't even vote for it. I was listening to the radio this morning, and the commentator asked if the Democrats are going to get serious about debt reduction. I think it's important for people to remember that every presidential administration since Kennedy has left for their Republican successors a better deficit situation than they inherited. And every Republican since Nixon has left for the Democratic successors a worse deficit situation than they inherited, all without exception. Trump was on the way to doing that before the pandemic, and then Biden is on the way to doing that now. So we've always been serious. The problem is we can't fix the deficit quicker than they're messing it up. So we'll just have to see what they do. They started a meeting at about 9:30. I don't know what the Republicans are going to be up to, but all they need to do is come up with a bill that's consistent with the understanding that was agreed to by the president, the House, and the Senate during the debt ceiling. It's been agreed to by the Democrats and Republicans in the Senate, by the president and the Democrats in the House, except the MAGA Republicans won't go for it. And so they don't know what to do. And as they say, McCarthy is more interested in his job than your job. So we're just stuck here for the time being. So we'll just have to see what's going to happen. But in the meanwhile, let's just take over the General Assembly and show people, and we're showing people in Washington what happens when you elect Republicans. It's a total mess. So thank you, and stay focused, and let's elect the General Assembly, expand the majority in the Senate, and pick up the House.
Thank you so much, Congressman Scott, for everything you're doing for Virginia and for our country, and keep fighting. I'm going to just defer. I really think the chair's report can be combined with the EDs and the officers' report. There's a lot going on. And so I'm just going to turn it over now to Sham to update us on a lot of the things that we and the staff have been doing. And so Sham, are you still, he's actually in his car too. So we've all learned how to maneuver in this new world a little bit, I guess.
Good morning, everyone, and happy birthday, Abby. We're glad you were able to join us this morning, and we're hoping it's a wonderful day for you. Sorry, to give a little bit of an update on what folks are doing. I know you all know this is our GOTV meeting. This is the everybody's knocking doors, working for these campaigns to make sure that we keep the Senate and take the House this fall. So our political team is heading up our direct mail program this cycle, making sure that all the pieces we send out are legal, compliant, and that we can turn things around for these campaigns as fast as possible, making sure that everything goes out this year. I think I made the joke yesterday that the only person who's traveled more than anyone in our congressional delegation is Jack Foley. So Jack and Vicky are everywhere, and not just them, but also going out with our training team, with our training director, Emily, and Tiara from our local candidates program. Now that we're post primary and folks are voting, our local candidates program has shifted its direction and focus to helping navigate local candidates through getting, designing and getting direct mail pieces sent out, working with them on digital ads that they may want to do. At this stage in the campaign, there aren't any days that aren't stressful. So making sure that whenever candidates up and down the ballot have a bad day or just need someone to talk to, that we're always there for them. And I think that's a really important place for the party as an organization to be. We've also continue our van office hours and are planning more trainings through the rest of the year. Emily and I are working on we did a call with the CD chairs. I want to say it was on Monday. God, that was only 5 days ago. And we are planning on doing more calls after we get through the election on delegate selection and making sure that not only are our committees ready to put on the caucuses and the CD conventions and get to state convention, and ultimately the national one, but also that anyone who wants to participate, whether it's as a voter in our March 5th primary, whether it's signing a petition for the president, getting him on the ballot, or being a national delegate or a state delegate, or a presidential elector, that we're giving folks exactly what the process is for how that's going to happen and through our delegate selection process next cycle. Our finance team has been hard at it. I know we've come to these meetings a lot and talked about how we're trying to diversify where our income streams are coming in. part of what we've done there, so we still have a number of events. We had 2 events last week. We had an event last night. I'm not going to steal Clarence's thunder on the event last week, but we had a great event in on Monument Ave. We had a great event with David and Lisa Durham and Senator Warner last night in Fredericksburg. We've got our annual Army Navy fundraiser coming up that Bob Haley has been, he's no longer our 11 CD chair, but he's been consistent and an amazing supporter, making sure that we can do this fundraiser every single year. But beyond that, we're also expanding our digital program, and that's not just our email list, but it's also working with other states and some of the massive email lists that other elected officials have and PACs have in various parts of the country. I know Gavin Newsom has sent a couple emails for us. We've worked with Gretchen Whitmer's team from Michigan to sign our latest fundraising mail, or Governor Northam signed our one earlier this cycle, and we're working with a few other national surrogates on that as well. And for those of you who, I think I deferred the specifics of it to Dave yesterday, but building a texting program and building an email program is a little more complicated than just dumping a bunch of phone numbers into a blaster and sending those out. And so part of that, and part of what we're able to do this cycle, is coordinating with a few other groups who have built and established and healthy lists that are going to start sending some texts for us to help kind of diversify our fundraising streams and make sure that we're not just building a small dollar database in Virginia, but we're also building a small dollar donor base nationwide. Because when we go into these cycles, the odd year cycles, it's so important for us to not only remind the national organizations that Virginia has incredibly important elections, but also national donors and national folks around the country, and get them bought in to remember that how Virginia does in the year before presidential is a great indicator for how we're going to do in a presidential cycle. And what happens in Virginia the year after a presidential cycle is a huge way of setting the tone for a president's four-year term. So that's something that our finance team is working on. Our data team, I don't know how many times we can say this, we have the best data team in the country. We have had the best data team in the country for, I would say, the moment I left the data team. Katie and Brenner are amazing. For this cycle, we've got all the absentee data in Vote Builder every morning. So as folks are running their campaigns, they can pull all of that information. For those of you who have been following this a bit, when we lost control over the electoral boards in January, that put a lot of stress on not only our voter protection team, but also our data team in making sure that we're able to track and maintain an accurate list of all of the polling locations with all of the changes that these Republican electoral boards are making. Whether that's to early vote sites or to actual polling locations or drop boxes, and tracking all of those and aggregating it into a singular place so that we can load that into I Will Vote and load that into Van, so that campaigns and voters have a centralized place where they can go and they can trust that the information is accurate. That is a huge process. There is no centralized location for all of that to be aggregated by the state. It's actually done individually by registrars, and so making sure that we're communicating with all of them is really important. On the comms front, like Liam has been absolutely killing it with the comms, and I know when we get to this cycle, sometimes it's tough to get a lot of national news attention, to get folks to focus on, look, we've got elections in Virginia. It's not just about a potential government shutdown. It's not just about what's going on in Washington. And so Liam has been doing a great job. We've got, I think, a piece coming out in the New York Times early next week. Politico has written about us, Bloomberg, the Washington Post. Susan, I think we did something with the Wall Street Journal as well. But we've been all over on national press in making sure that we're spreading the word about Virginia's elections all over the country. And part of that has, been a driving factor in some of the support we've gotten from out of state and from some of the national groups as well. The last department we have, and I can't begin to tell you just how important they are. Our operations team of Monty and Olivia are so important for this cycle and for every cycle, really, not only in making sure that we're filing our compliance reports on time, but part of the majority project this cycle is, well, 95% of it is staff hires for the coordinated effort for individual organizers, field directors, and a few administrative HQ staff for the making sure that we take back the majority in the House and keep it in the Senate. I think I think Sam said yesterday we're up to 85 total organizers and field directors on the ground in individual campaigns, handling the HR onboarding process, making sure that we're tracking hours effectively, that we're making sure we're spending the right amount, that we're budgeting properly, and working with the majority project and making sure that we're keeping the party in a financially safe situation is really important for us. I know what has happened, like in the past. We haven't had all of the control over it, and there's been other groups that involved, but like the House and the Senate have been amazing partners this cycle, and working with Sam and me and Susan and Olivia and Senator Locke and Servo and Chairman Herring and Leader Scott have been amazing partners in making sure that when we build this program this year, it's not only sustainable, but it has the buy-in from the House, the Senate, the party, the national organizations, the partners, and that we're running the best program possible. And that's tracking all of these different budgets and making sure that we're leaving everything in a responsible place. It is a huge field effort this year. That's how we win elections. It's how we get folks excited. It's how we turn out voters. And that's a really important thing. So I guess with that, I told Susan this yesterday on the car on the way home, and I said steering. We've been doing this for a little over 8 years. We've had such incredible luck with just having the most talented staff I think we could have ever asked for. This year, and this team is no different. They're amazing. For the next 38 days, it's full steam ahead. And not only is it full steam ahead to November 7th, but everything we're doing is making sure that on November 8th, this party and this organization is not only ready to handle any recounts or close races or provisional chases going through Veterans Day and the Monday after the election, but also that we're ready for a presidential filing deadline on December 14th. And making sure that we're putting us in a good position to deliver 13 electoral votes to the president next year.
Thank you, Sean. That's a pretty thorough update and very informative. It's really hard to believe that we're, we're in early vote now, and 30, what did you say, 34 days out, I believe, for
38
days out from the election. But okay, somewhere in that category. I did want to just mention and amplify a little bit and give particular thanks to our congressional delegation for all of their help in helping us get the majority project started early. And so that we've been able to be very strategic and intentional on what we have done. Congressman Scott has been there every step of the way, as have the others. But I also want to give just a very particular shout out to Senator Warner, who helped raise the alarms to national donors in the White House about that, not only about why we are important. I mean, this is my third cycle of this, 15, 19, and now this cycle that we are an off-year election. It is still befuddles me sometimes that when you are.
She got muted. Oh.
Okay, I know y'all think I talk too much, but I didn't know somebody was in there trying to mute me. Maybe it was the Chinese, but anywho. But I mean, it just is befuddles me that national donors and others don't realize that not only that we have an election every year, But not only is this the last election for 2023, this is the first election for 2024. I mean, we are the roadmap for what is going to happen next year. So thanks to Senator Warner and others in our congressional delegation, Congresswoman McClellan too has been particularly helpful in, raising money, getting commitments, talking to people. And, they have pretty big day jobs too, but they also know what's at stake here in Virginia. And I just want to say, if you see them on the campaign trail or out and about, please thank them all. Now that I will turn it over to the birthday girl, Abby Easter, for the Treasurer's Report.
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for the very kind wishes. I didn't know I was going to spend my birthday weekend with over 100 of my close friends. So I feel very fortunate, and maybe I hope it doesn't make it not come true, but my birthday wish is the House and the Senate, and Governor Youngkin eats a whole bunch of crow. Okay, nobody objected last week to sort of my new version of the report. So I'm going to try that again. If somebody has concerns, just reach out to me. And I want to thank Olivia for all her work on this. Olivia on the staff, she's been great. The Democratic Party's Q3 financials were strong. As of September 29th, the party has raised $3.6 million for DPVA activities and an additional $2.2 million for the coordinated, surpassing income projections by $195,000. Thank you, DPVA. Combined expenses for the quarter were $2.8 million, coming in under projections by $158,000. The variance is due to fluctuations in direct mail spending. But overall, we are about 83% to our annual fundraising goal and 77% to our budget plan, with approximately 600,000 cash on hand for core DPVA activities and an additional 1.5 million for the coordinated. Most of the income for the quarter came from large donors and national groups to support the majority project coordinated and direct mail spending. For example, the Biden administration completed a $1.2 million pledge to the coordinated in the quarter. Additional events and trailing Blue Commonwealth Gala income netted the party another 100,000, and digital raise, which Sean was talking about, has nearly doubled quarter over quarter. We expect fundraising to accelerate in the last month pre-election, and we're building a texting program to expand our digital presence. Staff costs continue to drive expenses, with the coordinated campaign headcount reaching nearly 100. Spend on direct mail, both on behalf of the coordinated and in support of non-targeted races, was the other major driver of this quarter's expenses. The DPVA retains nearly 2.1 million in cash on hand to help make sure we get over the top in the next, what did you say, Susan, 38 days, not that we're counting. So I will submit this report for audit, and thanks everybody again.
Abby, thanks for that robust report, and thanks for spending your birthday morning with us. All right, so up next, and I think if he's still on, I'd like to just use the chairwoman's prerogative here and ask Senator Lamont Bagby to give us a quick update of what's going on in the Senate, and also as chairman of the Legislative Black Caucus. And I'm sorry to spring this on you, Senator Bagby, but we're great to have, if you're still on, great to hear from you if you could. Did we lose Lamont?
Hey, good
there
morning.
You are.
Good
Sorry
morning.
to put you on the spot, but you know how to pivot and do this stuff.
No. I appreciate it. And I'm on my way to an event for Rodney Willett with moms. And excited about November. If you all haven't been following, particularly the number of Black Caucus members, we're at about 20 right now. And we are projected to be at 30 to 34 after this election. And so paying close attention to races like Jenkins, Clinton, Karen, and we're doing digital out there thanks to the coordinated and the House and Senate folks, Michael Fagans, Joshua Cole, Kim Pope Adams. There are a number of candidates, Northern Virginia, Richmond area, and Hampton Roads that we're focused on winning. And those are actually the majority winners for the House and the Senate. We get Clinton Jenkins across the finish line, we're in good shape. And that new ad that he has is awesome, talking directly to what Brewer's putting out there. And we get Karen Jenkins across the finish line and Michael Fagans across the finish line. We are in good shape. And not only do we have 34, 35 individuals in the Black Caucus, but we have a majority in both House and Senate.
Thank you so much for that update, Senator. I think, and I hope you agree with me, but I think this is just an incredible group of candidates we have across the board this year.
Very impressed. Travis Nimhart is one of those impressive guys as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I know the other side has got a bucket full of money that, from Governor Youngkin. I guess he's going to use it some for this and some for his presidential effort. But honestly, between our candidates and our messaging, I think we feel pretty confident and pretty intentional and strategic about what we're doing. I mean, they are out of the mainstream and we're in the mainstream. So thank you so much for that thorough update.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, next. And I know I look real awkward doing this, but I'm trying to follow the agenda here on my phone while I'm talking to you all. We'll move right into officers' reports, and I will call on our first vice chair for organization, Gayleen.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. And good morning, everyone. And yes, we are 38 days until November 7th. So that's right around the corner. But we have early vote going on right now. But before I get into that, I just want to thank our training team and, of course, our data team and all the staff for everything they're doing to motivate our local committees and providing the resources that are needed to move forward to win this election. We've had multiple trainings, whether it was vote builder, precinct operation trainings, relationship, and the list just goes on with that as well. And but the most important thing is voter protection. And why I say that, turnout is everything, but turnout means nothing if our votes are not protected. And I'm just gonna put this little picture in the chat in a second, but early vote is so important, and voter protection is important as well, because we have got to get people to sign up to be poll watchers and voter protection. Aaron, we have a magnificent voter protection team, and they're attorneys, which is even better. And so Aaron and Nick and the whole team, they're doing a great job of training our voter protection volunteers. If your committee doesn't have one, please have them to sign up. Listen, the opposition, they want us to be like these other states they've gotten, Georgia and Florida. And why? It's because we were the 49th hardest state to vote in, and now we're the 11th easiest state to vote in, with the Sunday vote, with 45 days early vote, with same day register and vote. Of course, they want us to go backwards. And then you look at everything else that under the Democratic leadership we passed, almost everything in the George Floyd bill that the Congress been trying to pass. Virginia has passed almost everything with the exception of qualified immunity. And so the list is environmental issues, education, making sure money is in education. Democrats, a Democratic-led General Assembly has proven to move us forward on every level. So of course they want us to move back. So before they used to say that early vote was fraud, right? Now the governor has something out there now that says, if you don't vote, they win. And they're using like some of our messages, we'll lose our freedom. Before we lose our freedom, vote early. Really? See, they say, if you don't vote, they win. We say, if you don't vote, we won't win. And we means everybody across the spectrum. We have a big umbrella. So it's not a they, it's a we as America, we as Virginians. So that's the way we have to look at things. So voter protection is very, very important. You know, we have a hotline. If you see anything, you have to report it. 844-BA votes. We'll put it in the chat, but please report anything you see. You know, we got voters being dropped off the voter roll. We're seeing all kinds of different little shenanigans here and there, but everything needs to be reported so we know we can be ahead of it and not behind it. And voter protection and does not only stop on election day. We have to make sure that we have people afterwards to do the canvassing of votes and to make sure if there's any, I'm sure it might be, we think it might be some ties and votes. And if that's the case, we're going to need people who are going to be there to watch that. So the list just goes on how important early vote is, how important voter protection is. And the more people we get out to early vote, the better it's going to be. We know that in the last cycle, we had over 25,000 people the same day register and vote, and the majority were college students. We need to watch colleges and our student votes and protect our student votes. Please. We know that they're already researching voter rolls to see if the college students' votes are legal or not, if their registration is legal or not, or if they can vote legal or not. So please, please keep your eye on everything with voter protection. We have asked all the local committees to have command stations at early vote locations, a table, a tent, have all your signs all around it to know that Democrats have a mainstay in your area, you know, so please have a command station is there as well. So I know I'm speaking to the choir, but you know what? Every great choir needs a dress rehearsal. Also, I want to say Senator Lucas, she got honored last night. And then today she has a very big fundraiser. So she's unable to be here, but she has been all over working to promote candidates to make sure that they win, doing fundraisers. I'm going out doing canvas kickoffs. And she's also been reaching out to different various groups of people across the demographics. So she has been working hard. I know she'll be with us on the next go round, but let's turn out the vote. Let's win, and let's have a great holiday when we get back together again to celebrate this, because what we do this year, as our chairwoman said, is going to go forward for next year and a year behind. If we fail this year with voter protection and everything else, it's going to be very difficult for us next year. So let's put everything in there and let's say, not on our watch. We're going to protect the votes and we're going to win. Thank you.
Thanks, Galen, for that, as always, thorough and inspiring update.
Susan,
Mark,
do you mind
yes.
if I say one thing?
Sure.
Because Galen was talking about voter protection and Zach mentioned it in the chat. We've got 1,900 local races this year across the Commonwealth. Like in every county, we have all of our constitutional offices up. Some of those races, as Galen said, are going to be really close. And we do not have the blank check that Glenn Youngkin does to put attorneys everywhere and to file lawsuits and to be there immediately, which is why it's so important for our local committees to have folks at these sites, to have them at the provisional canvas, to have them at the certification meetings, to make sure that these Republican electoral boards are certifying the results, that they're counting every absentee vote, that they're not rejecting some based on based on whatever arbitrary rules that they're making up on any given day, and you know, following the law and being compliant there. And if there's something going wrong in your localities and the electoral boards not following the law, letting us know is so important. And just one, like, on a great example that John just put in the chat, that the Republican Electoral Board in Loudoun eliminated Sunday voting. Not only that, but earlier this year, they tried to have the State Board of Elections or they asked the Attorney General's office to redefine what days were. And so for those of you who know, like the absentee ballots need to be postmarked by the time polls close, and they need to arrive by noon on the Friday after the election. That is Veterans Day, and the government offices are closed, so it's impossible to tell if the mail arrived. And so the practice is that they can arrive until noon on Monday. That's something that they were trying to get rid of. So like there is no, whatever we would all assume to be a ridiculous thing that they were trying to do, that does not exist. It is something that they will try to do. So making sure that we're aware and that we're following it, and that when we see things that we're able to respond quickly is going to be so important.
Thanks, Sham. Mark Burkowski, do you have anything for rules and resolutions right now?
Yes, we have two resolutions that have been submitted, both of which, are memorial resolutions. So what I'm going to do first is I will read the memorial resolutions, both of them, and then we'll invite some folks that submitted these resolutions to speak on their behalf and tell us a little bit more about the resolution they submitted. So the first resolution I'm going to start with is the Democratic Party of Virginia honors the life of Janet Carver. Whereas Janet Carver was a dedicated and passionate leader in the Democratic Party for over 50 years, and whereas she served on Virginia's congressional district Democratic committees for over 40 years, including significant leadership roles, and whereas she was a tireless advocate for progressive causes, including voting rights, healthcare reform, environmental protection, and whereas she was a mentor and inspiration to many, and her work made a lasting impact on the Democratic Party in and outside of Virginia, and whereas she served as the first woman to cast a vote in the Virginia Electoral College for Barack Obama for president, representing the 11th Congressional District, and whereas she was awarded by the 8th Congressional District Democratic Committee its Eagle Award for Lifetime Achievement in Civil Rights and Public Service, and whereas Janet Carver followed a lifetime of service to the Democratic Party, was celebrated by the 11th Congressional District Democratic Committee members to be a member emeritus, a lifelong position of honor. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Democratic Party of Virginia hereby honors the memory of Janet Carver and her many years of service to the Democratic Party. Be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to the family and friends of Janet Carver as a token of our appreciation for her dedication and service. Therefore, be it resolved that this resolution be entered into the minutes of the Democratic Party of Virginia. So that was the first one that we received, and I'll read the second one, and then we'll have an opportunity to honor these folks a little bit more. Let's see. So the Democratic Party of Virginia honors the life of Clemenia Oliver. Many of us know her as Clem. Whereas Clemenia Oliver was an unwavering champion of the Democratic Party's core values and a tireless advocate for social justice, equality, and the rights of all people. Throughout Clemenia Oliver's service to the Democratic Party, she held pivotal roles within the Democratic Party of Virginia, including 5th Congressional District First Vice Chair and Secretary, Danville City Democratic Committee Chairwoman, Disability Caucus Member, Black Caucus Secretary, and selflessly volunteered on numerous campaigns across the 5th Congressional District. Her dedication and leadership left an indelible mark, earning her recognition and respect within the party and beyond. Clemenia Oliver's impact extended far beyond party lines as she dedicated herself to various organizations, including the NAACP, her faith community, Goodwill, and many others. Her service ranged from secretary and assistant roles to compassionate casework and diligent volunteer work. Her outstanding contributions earned her numerous accolades, including the Trailblazer Award from the DPVA Disability Caucus, a testament to her unwavering commitment to making a positive impact. Clemenia Oliver's legacy is not just one of achievements, but a testament to her readiness to serve, her unshakable commitment to fairness and justice, and her ever-present warm smile, which brightened the lives of those she encountered. Therefore, be it resolved that the Democratic Party of Virginia commemorates Clementia Oliver's extraordinary legacy, celebrating her dedication to the Democratic Party, social justice, equality, and the rights of all people. With profound gratitude and utmost respect, we honor her remarkable contributions. It is our heartfelt request that this resolution submitted by the 5th Congressional District Committee be presented to Clementia Oliver's family as a profound token of appreciation, recognizing the profound and lasting impact she made on our hearts, our community, and our shared mission. So those are the two ones we received. So first, I'm going to invite for the resolution submitted on the behalf of Janet Carver, our illustrious chair, Manisha, to come on and speak, and also we'll also be inviting up Penny Rude as well. But let's start with Manisha, and then we can go to Penny.
Thank you very much, Mark. Virginia's Democratic family has lost one of their most fierce soldier, Janet Carver. She was an amazing, amazing voice on CD11 committee. I had the pleasure of serving with her for a couple of years before she suffered a stroke. The thing I remember most about her is this beautiful smile she had and a mischievous twinkle in her eye when she knows she's going to launch an argument or something. So she was really full of life, amazing Democrat, and we do miss her. Earlier this year, Janet passed, and to present her memorial resolution, actually, I wanted to call on Penny Rude, who has been such a great friend to Penny throughout her sickness, and she has been our liaison when Janet was unable to join us. So let me introduce former CD member and an amazing Democrat, Penny Rude from Fairfax City. Penny.
Thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity to talk about my late beloved friend, Janet Carver. I think the resolution does her honor. I think Manisha's comments are on target and would be many that I would say. She's been a friend to the Democratic Party for many, many decades, not only in Virginia, but in her years in California, which was her home of birth. Please, I miss her still. She was a fierce fighter till her passing, very dedicated to the Democratic Party, always interested in wanting to know what was going on with the party and in politics. And I know she has many friends throughout the Democratic Party in Virginia that would also like to speak. She was an inspiration. I know that there are many candidates for office, Democratic candidates for office, who sought out her wise counsel. And I know she'll be missed. And I know she's smiling down from heaven on us today and wishing to be here and making remarks about the election coming up, of which I know she'd be very, very involved. Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Madam Chairman of the 11th District Committee, for allowing me this opportunity to speak about my friend, Janet Carver. Thank you.
Thank you for those wonderful words. All right, so next up we're going to invite up Thomas Cruz to speak on behalf of the resolution for Clem Oliver.
Thank you, Mark. Losing Clem for the 5th CD has been a tremendous blow, and I was greatly honored to write the draft resolution on behalf of the 5th CD and submit it to the Rules and Resolutions Committee. As the resolution stated, Clem was a staunch advocate in the 5th. She was our most recently passed first vice chair and the chairwoman of the Danville City Democratic Committee, a Disability Caucus member and member of the Black Caucus. And I would just like to make sure that her friends, the people who knew her the most, including our chairwoman, Patricia Harper Tunley, has an opportunity to speak, as well as Celine Montgomery, the chair of the Disability Caucus, would also have a chance to speak, as they we're very, very, very close to Clem, and they helped also draft this resolution. So I want, to share that with them at this time. Thank you, Mark.
Sure, we can invite up Ms. Patricia. Do you want to say a couple words?
Yes, hi. Clem was a lot of things to me, and first and foremost, she was a friend. Secondly, she was a colleague. Thirdly, she was an advisor. And fourthly, she had the biggest smile that in my most frustrating moments, all she had to do was smile and that frustration would be gone. It is bittersweet having this event today, as she started out on the committee and was very instrumental in getting this started. And so the presence of her physically not being here today is definitely felt, but she will always be present in my heart and in my mind. And again, she was dedicated to the very, very end of her demise. And she didn't have to be, but she wanted to be. So with that being said, I won't prolong this. She will be missed, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right. I think Silene on. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Silene, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I've known Clem for many years, and like to many, she was a friend. I've watched her battle through being sick ever since I've known her. And the word that I use to describe Clem is resilient. Ever when I needed or wanted, we'll just say wanted. A lot of people know that I always have something to do, and I like to get people involved that I know that I can count on to help me. And so she never said, I watched her rise through the ranks of the Democratic Party, and she never said no. I know the things and how difficult it was for Clem throughout her service. And so she is definitely missed by me, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
All right, thank you so much, Silene, and our thoughts and prayers are certainly with the families, and they both lived incredible lives. So, with that being said, I'll pass things back to Susan.
Mark, may I say something about Janet?
Sure, go ahead.
Mark, she served with me as my vice chair for a long time, and I think the common thread in both of these is this involvement with the Democratic Party that exceeded really many efforts of really what sometimes is expected, to go and contact Democrats, going door to door, and to be fierce, and I say this strongly, fierce advocates for the Democratic candidates running for office. That was Janet. And she loved meeting people. She was smart, knew our rules to the T, but she really brought people into the Democratic family, which is so essential. I happened to meet someone recently who was involved in a campaign and had Janet's style. And that person was Judy Fisher, supporting and advocating constantly for Saddam Salim. And it just amazed me how this is a quality in people that draws people into the Democratic Party. It's like a magnet. We need more of those magnets because they bring out the votes, bring out additional supporters, and help our Democratic Party. Janet was outstanding. I can hear these same qualities that were in Clem too. They're part of a very special family. We really hate to lose them, but we've got to grow new Democratic advocates that are also as strong and as fierce in their support for our candidates, because that's how we win. Thanks so much.
All right, Susan, why don't you pass it back to you?
Yes. Mark, thank you. And I guess we'll then defer passage of this till we get to general business.
I mean, I guess we can take a vote now. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So all those in favor of adopting the memorial resolution for Clem Oliver and for Janet Carver, motion.
Mark, you need a motion first.
Motion and second.
So move out. Thomas Cruz will make the
Second.
motion.
Second.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, opposed, hearing none, the motion passes. All right, now we can move it back to Susan. Sorry, I got so caught up in the moment, I forgot to call.
No, I
Check.
mean, it's a pretty somber and emotional moment. We've lost two really pillars of our Democratic Party, and I am just honored to have, known both of them and learned from both of them. So thank you, Mark, and everyone for your thoughtful comments and memories of just two incredible women. I am going to have to hit the road because the marathon is over now. I can get out here, and I've got some commitments on the campaign trail. But I'm going to turn the proverbial or theoretical or the imaginary gavel, however you want to call it, over to Gayleen to finish up the rest of the meeting. And I look forward to seeing you all then either on the campaign trail or at our meeting in December. Thanks, everybody. And Gayleen, over to you.
Right. Thank you, Chairwoman. Have a safe trip. Also, next we have on our agenda our communications and technology. We have our chair, Ricardo.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, there
I
you
made
go.
it.
Mhm.
I made it. Sorry that I can't activate my video. I almost did not make it to this meeting, but I did. I have a report on the technology and communication side. As we all know, obviously October is coming up. That means that more door knocking, more phone and text banking, and hence more handling of potential personal identifiable data. October is also Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And this year's theme by the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency has been dubbed Secure Our World, to encourage and stay safe online and practicing good cyber hygiene. So in that sense, a few things to put on everyone's radar. Number one, please keep your devices up to date. As an example, just last week, Apple released an update to iOS devices on what is known as an active exploit that is impacting compromised devices already. So if you're joining from an iOS device today, I would strongly encourage you to check and see if your device has a standby update. And as soon as this meeting is over, consider updating over lunch. Number two is use strong passwords or passkeys to enable multi-factor authentication. Passkeys are a growing and secure trend to leverage biometrics and other authentication methods in our devices. Number three, and this one I do want to stress, be wary of phishing attempts. I know that there's plenty going out there. I really, truly appreciate everyone reporting in those suspicious or unusual activities to security@vademocrats.org. That allows me, that allows Dave, that allows staff to review and act appropriately. If you see a phishing attempt of a suspicious email, especially if you see an email that ends in the correct domain, please be very wary not only of the sender, but also if you attempt to reply back, you may see a address that is not related to the original message. So we are very much aware and are working diligently on these attempts that are getting more sophisticated. Another thing that I also want us to keep in mind is that this not only applies to links, but also to QR codes that we scan on our devices. If you're scanning a QR code, make sure that the URL that you're being directed to is the correct and legitimate one, not one that asks for a password. For example, you may scan a QR code to get to a Google Doc or Google spreadsheet, and all of a sudden you are compromising your credentials because you're putting them in a fake domain. So make sure that it's google.com or whichever service you're using, that you're not compromising your account. Other things that technology and communication side are that we are continuing to work to refine our event registration, check-in and seating system that was used at the Blue Commonwealth Gala during the summer and is planned to be used on future fundraising events. In that sense, I want us to give a special kudos and shout out to DPVA staff, especially Vicky, Shane, and Katie, for all the work that is being put into this project. I have also been working with congressional districts and individual committees on their online presence and digital assets. And finally, I want to echo the sentiment because it is a fact that we really are lucky to be one of the best, have one of the best data teams with Brenner and Katie. I've continued to help facilitate inquiries to them regarding access and training on using our party's digital tools and platforms such as Fan Mobilize, ActBlue, and NGP. I do want to close out by circling back to cybersecurity. It is crucial and important that we continue to work and make sure that our ecosystem is safe. In that regard, also, there's an ongoing effort that we're working with staff on cybersecurity policy and best practices to continue fostering it. So as always, please feel free to reach out to me, Ricardo at vademocrats.org. And if you do not have link to the Substack where I tend to publish on occasions tidbits and updates on the cybersecurity side, please feel free to reach out. I'll make sure to put the link in the chat. Thank you, and I'll send it back to you, Gayleen.
Great. Thank you, Ricardo. That was a great report. Next, we have our finance report, and that's Clarence Tong.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Almost afternoon, as Abby reported a little bit earlier. We're about 83% towards our fundraising goal for the year. Sorry, Sloan's in the background. So after BCG, we continue to build and hold regional fundraising events. In Q3, we had an event in Alexandria on September 18th with Congresswoman Linda Sanchez, who's the co-chair of the Congressional Labor Caucus, as well as a former chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. We were able that night to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, as well as the contributions of labor. We were joined also by Congresswoman McClellan and Chairwoman Swecker. We also had a really great turnout for that event. I wanted to thank David Lord and Greg Parks for hosting that event. We also had a lot of other HCD members participate, including DLOF President Jonathan Dromgoole. Sure to recognize Margot as well, because we actually had the event the same night as the HCD meeting, and we were able to actually accommodate a tech solution so those of us at that event could join. And I thought that worked out pretty well. We also had a few other regional fundraisers, one down in Richmond, as Sean mentioned earlier, with Ann Holton, one in Fredericksburg with Senator Warner. Well, I guess that was just last night. And then wanted to, of course, thank Bob Haley for putting on his annual Army-Navy event that's coming up on October 14th. So much more work to do on the fundraising side. And thank you to everyone for your generous support. Thanks, Gayleen. Back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Clarence. And I want to thank everyone for all of their wonderful reports. And to wrap us up, we have Senator Mamie Locke, who is our Senate Democratic Caucus leader. And she's in an area, might be a little spotty, but we wanted to bring her on for her to say a few words. Senator Locke, are you there? There you go. Go ahead. Welcome.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
You're going in and out. We can see you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good morning, and I want to thank everyone for all of the support that you're giving to our targeted races for the Senate. It is imperative that we win our seats, because we have got to keep the Senate in this election cycle and take back the House, because we see what the Republicans are trying to do. So please continue to keep these boots on the ground in these races, because we know what's on the ballot for this fall. So please continue to do all that you're doing in all of these races across the Commonwealth, and make sure that we maintain the Senate, and again, take back the House, because women's rights are on the ballot, voting rights are on the ballot, healthcare is on the ballot, education's on the ballot. We know what's on the ballot for November 7th. Early voting has started. So get out there, keep it up, all of this momentum, and let's go out there and win, because we know that when we vote, we win. Thanks, Gayleen.
Great. We're gonna call her the $1 million senator because she has raised over $1 million to keep the Senate. And that's a hand clap for everybody. I mean, she is out here working very hard to make sure that we keep the Senate and gain more seats. And we are so proud of you. And you're out there fighting. She's got a big fundraiser at Senator Warner's house coming up on October the 4th. And she's gonna raise even more money. 4th. October the 4th. That's great. Thank you so much, Senator Locke.
See you all there. Okay.
Bye-bye. Well, everyone, this has been a great meeting. And we're going to wrap up right now. And all I gotta say is this. Adam Eben, you had something you wanted to say, Senator Eben?
I think I jumped the gun. I was waiting for announcements.
Okay, well, go ahead. You have an announcement, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I have a fundraiser to help Senate Democrats maintain and expand our majority on Sunday, October 8th in Alexandria, brunch with Senator Tim Kaine. And if people are interested, it's adameben.com/brunch.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know we have a lot of announcements that's in the chat. I think you all have seen that. So thank you so much for putting that in the chat. I hope you recorded it. We want everyone to have a great weekend and a great week. Yes.
Sorry, one announcement on quarter 4. Do you mind if I do that now, or do you want to?
No, go ahead.
Wait a sec.
No, go ahead, because I was getting ready to wrap up.
We took a look at the calendar. Okay, we took a look at the calendar for December for our quarter 4 meeting. December is a tricky month. We've got a lot of holidays. The 2nd and 3rd weekends both overlap with Hanukkah. The 4th weekend is Christmas time, and so we have set the quarter 4 meeting date for December 1st and 2nd. It's going to be in Richmond. I think we've got the SunTrust booked, and are going to send out a room block once we have that.
Great, thank you.
That's
okay. Great, thank you. And Jack put in the chat that the Rural Caucus is reorganizing. They have their membership link. You see that in the chat. They've been sending that out as well. Okay, is that everything? Well, we want everyone to have a good week, and let's get out there and go fight and win. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, Gayleen, hold on. We need a motion to adjourn.
So
right,
moved.
Right. So moved. Motion to adjourn. That's right. So moved, second. All right, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.